It was this movie I was watching called The Seven Shades of Jane. It was an interesting movie because like she was just traveling. She was traveling on a road. Like I don't even remember how it started. But she was traveling on a road and she was just going to all these different places. And I watched this movie like 2 days ago, by the way, so it's gonna take me a minute to really reflect on it a little bit. But it was interesting because she wound up so it was this guy that she really fell in love with. So this guy wanted her to come to this place with him, and it was like this song. It was kind of like this song. I'm gonna let y'all listen to it.
Then came you. Then came you. Then came you. Then came imagine what I would have missed. Can't fathom anything but this. I love you in the way it fits me. I feel it in the way this is. No one could ever paint this bliss. Can't imagine anything but this. I love you.
But it was like this song, and like she was just, cause the song basically reminded me of the movie, and she was just going along with the song, and like it took her out of character. It was actually his band that was playing it though, and it's like she was focused in on him and what they was doing, but for the most part, she like just wanted him to remember what they'd been through and everything like that. So, so then he really didn't remember. He basically said that the heart that he gave her was not his. So it's like she had a whole different heart back then. Basically, it wasn't his heart. He said he was like really confused, and there was a lot of noise when he was with her. But when he wound up being by himself, or when he wound up leaving, he discovered himself. He said it was silence, the noise was gone. So basically, he was happy with where he was. And I'm like, oh, like it was real interesting. So then, I guess she tried to get over what he's talking about, and she was trying to get over the thought of him or the idea of him. So then she wound up taking a ride, and she, I guess for some type of clarity or reflection or something like that. So as she was driving, she kept going into her imagination, like, and just, you know, dancing, and like, it's like this song took her, you know, to a whole nother version of herself, or another version of, you know. So I guess, okay, so there was this woman that was passing, and I was thinking like, okay, so is this a version of herself that she's like doing this little, you know how the little mimes be dancing? It's like that. It's like a dance like that, but it's like a being one with nature, vibing with nature, that type of thing, just going with the flow and the vibrations and dancing to the like the instrumentals of the music, and just like feeling, you know, feeling but not feeling, you know, well, not feeling, but feeling the universe, feeling the vibrations, just dancing. And it was like really, really interesting. So she was dancing, and like I said, I don't know if it was just another version that she created in her mind. But then, you know, she got this phone call previously about this woman that was passing them, thinking that's the woman that she was dancing with. So I think she was dancing with this woman, and eventually this woman passed along, and I think that's how she got closure, because then she received a phone call that said she passed right after she was dancing with the woman, you know, in like this form of imagination, I guess. So then, she kept driving, and she went and picked up this woman. And this woman looked just like the woman she was imagining dancing with. I'm like, what the heck? So she picked up this woman, and this woman kind of just took her different places. So this woman took her different places. Well, she picked her up on the road. She was a stray, I guess, and she was just not like, well, she was stray and like homeless, but she was homeless because she wanted to be, you know, and she was just asking, the lady was asking her, she was like, do you want to be with anybody? Like, what? She was like, do you like being alone? She was like, yes, I like being free. You know, I like the thought of not being with anyone. I just want to be free. I want to be me. Like, she was single. She didn't want no kids. And that's what the lady asked her. She was like, well, do you want kids? And she was like, no, I just want to be free. So then she wound up driving this girl. And then I feel like, because she started speaking her mind. And it's like she was breaking free in her mind. And she was just like, she was talking darkness. Like, but in a way, like, she scared the girl off, because she was basically saying, like, I don't want to go back, and I just want to, you know, I want to live for the moment. I want to be in the moment. I don't want to think about, they think I'm coming back, but I'm not coming back. And she's a real cool, sweet woman. Like, no, she got scared. She was like, so are you, like, where are you, like, you're not talking about prison or anything? And she was like, no. And she was like, pull over right here. I want to get out. So she wound up pulling over, and she wound up going into this shack with these men. The girl that she picked up, she wound up going to the shack with this man. And these men, and I guess, I'm just thinking the whole time, like, why is you afraid of what she talking about? Like, what would you expect being picked up from a stranger? And then you're talking about, I want to be free and this and that, like, but you're so quick to judge this woman that's talking about, oh, she doesn't want to go back. Like, because you assume that she didn't want to go back, now you're afraid that she is a criminal or something, like, but you got picked up by her. Like, why is you acting so fearful now? So that's what kind of got me going. I'm like, what? Like, why is you so, like, why is you acting like that? But you out here, you just went into a shack with these strangers, but you afraid of this woman that just opened up her mind to you, but you was kind of scared about what was coming out. Like, how are you so fearful being in your position? So then she kept driving, and she wound up seeing this lady. This is a girl. I actually thought this girl was coming from a wedding. Like, she just, like, she bailed out on her wedding or something, but she didn't. She was, I guess, her grandma. She didn't like how her grandma was treating her, and I guess her grandma was telling her that she was like Spanish, like she had to speak Spanish and this and that. And she was like, well, I know I'm a Mexican, I know this, but I don't want this version of me, and you're pressing me to be this person that I don't want to be. So the girl that was on the road wound up taking her to get her hair dyed and just finding this version of who she wants to be. She was like, well, who do you want to be? And she was like, I don't know. Maybe I'll dye my hair. And she wound up dyeing her hair pink. So she dyed her hair pink. And then after that, she was like, well, you're doing a favor for everybody else, including us. Like, why don't we do a favor for you? Why don't I do a favor for you? So she took her up to the building, and she wound up, she had her, like, she was telling her how she was upset, like, as a child, from her childhood, at these two girls that she was friends with. She was mad at them, so she wanted to, she always wanted to tell them, but she never got the chance to. Okay, so she never got the chance to. I had to get comfortable. She never got the chance to tell them, so this was her chance. She was like, okay, so I want you to scream out in the air, scream out in the atmosphere how you feel about them. At first I thought when she said, I thought she was talking about calling them up and telling them how she feels. But then she was just like, go up to the building and just scream out to the air, scream out to, you know, the world how you feel. And when she went up in this building, she screamed out how she felt about it. She wound up feeling better about it. She was like, I hate you, and then she was just naming all these different people that she hates. I'm like, wow, you know, everybody got a form of expression, and this was her expression. So then she got that off her chest. The girl wound up going back to her house, and she wound up hugging her grandma, feeling so much better about the situation. And then she wound up going to this guy, I guess this guy she used to date. She went to this guy, and she started expressing to him how she felt. And she wound up figuring out that this guy actually felt the same way that she felt. And I'm like, wow. Like, so she was like, wow. She was like, wow, I just expressed all to you about how I've been feeling over the years, and it turns out that you feel the same way. I feel so happy in this moment, but at the same time, I don't know if we should go on or we should be together. I feel like obviously he had a family at home, because she was like, well, go back to your family and this and that. So on this road trip, she was basically trying to find her because she lost herself in a guy. And that guy, and that's crazy because I don't remember the beginning and I didn't get to finish the end. So it's like I just seen the middle part. I got to go back and finish the end. But how it came on was just so like weird, because how don't I remember the beginning? But the guy, she was so traumatized by him because she kept going back in her head about all the stuff, all the moments that they shared, like it was like mostly around like a lake and some rocks, and they was always like out there on the rocks, like in nature and stuff like that, and they were on a boat, and times where they was just expressing how much they loved each other. And it turns out that he never loved her, and when he said that, she went on this rampage of, you know, just driving and not, you know, turning around or anything. Like, she just didn't care about what she left behind. She just wanted to drive, not knowing where she was going. So, and that's what the girl told. She asked, she was like, well, where are you? What? She was like, so, where are you going? And she was like, I don't know. I'm just lost. And she was like, well, how are you lost? And the GPS says your destination right there. I'm just like, wow. You know, this girl, the girl that's going on the trip, I feel like we both expected more out of the passenger, because the passenger is just like, I want to be free. She's speaking all spiritually and this and that. But then you keep jumping back to reality, so you're more grounded than you give off. So when she said that, she was like, never mind. And the girl wanted to turn into music, and she just tuned out to music. I'm like, wow. So it was an interesting movie, though, because it's just like the beginning was so crazy, you know. Yeah. It was a different type of movie. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that movie with y'all. I'm about to get some rest. I got to get out of these clothes. I'm still in my day clothes and get some night clothes. And I'll talk to y'all next time. So, yeah.